So I assume this means I can start.
Yes, you can start. It's 1:30.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على النبي الأمين محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear colleagues, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Zain Yamani. I'm the Interim Associate Director of Hydrogen Future, the consortium that I'd like to speak to you about today. I want to first appreciate the time you put aside for this setting, and I hope I can explain the consortium for Hydrogen Future today in a way that is informative and also at the same time engaging. So we do know that fossil fuel has issues. When you have a hydrocarbon and you oxidize it, you burn it, you combust it, CO2 emissions are an issue, especially if you let them go into the environment. Of course, the buzzword these days is climate change, and you're probably aware that COP27, I believe, is just a few weeks away in November in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. You'll probably, maybe some of us will be stunned to realize that there's an increase in carbon dioxide emissions at around 35 or 40 billion tons. That's 40 gigatons per year. And if this number is at in 2021, according to the source. So that's huge amounts of CO2 emissions, and the world around, including our blessed kingdom, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, has committed to producing, committed to shift towards hydrogen, meaning instead of having a hydrocarbon as a fuel, why don't we have hydrogen as a fuel? The kingdom in particular has already committed through the Ministry of Energy to produce 4 million tons of hydrogen annually by 2030. That's quite a big amount. Indeed, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has also initiated a number of programs to accelerate the shift to hydrogen and to renewables as well. Here are some examples. We have the National Renewable Energy Program. We have the Circular Carbon Economy National Program. We have the Ministry of Energy, and of course, NEOM. Let's come back to KFUPM. In its mission that was revised not a long time ago, part of the mission says to make a difference within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and beyond in the fields of sciences, engineering, and business. We are well ranked overall, and particularly in some specific disciplines. We have thousands of undergraduate students, but more importantly, we're largely increasing the graduate population at KFUPM. And we have some of the best and brightest on campus. Of course, this is not only about students, but faculty as well. KFUPM has also gone through the research transformation about a year or two ago. And in the journey to the transformation, it's created a strong research base that wants to convert. Well, we want to work on basic research, solve critical scientific problems, but we also want to convert knowledge into practice. These are emblems of the 12 interdisciplinary research centers that were created last year. I won't go into naming them, but these are interdisciplinary in at least two ways. One is that the one center is interdisciplinary, where you have people who are not just chemists or not just mathematicians or not just mechanical engineers, but it's a mix of many different academic disciplines within the one center. And then it's also interdisciplinary in the sense that the centers work together, to work in a complementary and a synergistic way, where each of the centers probably connects with a number of the other interdisciplinary research centers. So KFUPM is offering a strong foundation for a powerful hydrogen research program in particular, and I'll give you a number of points that may be evidence to that. KFUPM has been conducting experimental and theoretical research in various hydrogen research fields. For example, hydrogen enriched combustion is something that KFUPM has been working on for some time, meaning that internal combustion engine or in a boiler is not just through a hydrocarbon like methane, for example, but it is hydrogen enriched or hydrogen enriched such that you have more hydrogen in the mix, means less CO2 emissions overall for the specific energy or power that's coming out of your system. Hydrogen membrane separation technology is something that our researchers have spent a lot of time on, and they're using techniques that are used in only a few places around the world and developing it further. Also, some of the ideas or experiments that are being conducted on campus, both on the experimental side and on the theoretical and computational side, is the hydrogen production for gasification and reforming. And of course, a number of groups in different departments at KFUPM work on green hydrogen production. These are just examples, and I don't mean to turn it into a technical discussion, but I do have backup slides in case anybody would like to know or learn more about what KFUPM is doing in terms of hydrogen-related research. So we have expertise, a good amount of expertise in interdisciplinary research with hydrogen-related industrial research experience. So it's not just the basic research, which is extremely important in a KFUPM, in a university campus, but we also have the industrial research experience at KFUPM, at least to many of us. In addition to expertise, we have research collaborations. We have, in fact, strong international collaborations with institutions that in the field of hydrogen research in Europe, in US, and other places. We have engagements both with the multinational hydrogen technology development companies, be it especially at DTV, but also with semi-governmental agencies here in the kingdom, in the capital. Also, our research is interdisciplinary, so we do have a number of different centers that are working on subjects related to hydrogen. Here I have a slide that shows at least how 5 of these interdisciplinary, 5 out of the 12 is a good percentage, in a direct way deal with hydrogen. For example, you have the Interdisciplinary Research Center for Refining and Advanced Chemicals, for hydrogen energy storage, for advanced materials, for membranes and water security. And here I'm focusing on the membranes more than the water security. And of course, the Interdisciplinary Research Center for Smart Mobility and Logistics. All of these centers, interdisciplinary research centers, relate to hydrogen technologies. In particular, the Interdisciplinary Research Center for Hydrogen Energy Storage has 3 programs in themes. It has the hydrogen theme, has the carbon capture utilization storage theme, and it has the energy storage theme. So you see 2/3 of this center relates to hydrogen and carbon CO2 emission related research. When it comes to membranes and water security, you'll find that membranes are very important for hydrogen research as well as for CO2 mitigation. When you come to the Interdisciplinary Research Center for Advanced Materials, they have a number of research priorities. Part of it is turning waste into valuable materials, which you can imagine could have things to do with CO2, develop solutions to mitigate materials degradation, including the embrittlement due to hydrogen, and develop surface technologies and lightweight materials to reduce energy consumption. Again, it comes into the circular carbon economy ideas, and they have a number of programs where clearly the Advanced Materials Research Center is related to hydrogen, even if in somewhat an indirect way. And then, of course, we have to be smart in this day and age, and we have smart mobility and logistics, and they also have 3 programs. Part of these programs, you have hydrogen spelled all over this place in their research priorities. Here it says, reduce the cost of ownership of mobility modes, improves performance of hydrogen electric-based mobility. That's one place at least. And then here you have the develop policies and plans, which is very, very important for the next stage. If you want to go into a hydrogen economy, we really have to go beyond the mere technical into policies and planning for the mobility, including air mobility, electrical vehicle, hydrogen service stations, charging and refueling. So their smart mobility also has hydrogen spelled over its doors and walls. These are the programs: smart city mobility, energy for mobility and mobility modes, and of course logistics. And last but not least, the Center of Refining and Advanced Chemicals, CRAC, as some people call it. And again, there's a number of petrochemical reactions that are in dire need of hydrogen. And of course, if you want to get rid of CO2, one of the ways is using using hydrogen for CO2 hydrogenation to produce other petrochemicals. So they have these polymer and plastics program, the waste recycling program, and the fuel and chemicals program. By the way, this item of plastics to hydrogen is something that might relate to CRAC as well. So you see here how different centers at our university, KFUPM, really relate to each other. And I am aware that there are solid programs that go between these centers. For example, the Interdisciplinary Research Center for Hydrogen Energy Storage has a clear program with refining and advanced chemicals, as it does with smart mobility and other centers as well. Now, let's move to a different perspective, which is the perspective of consortia. KFUPM is launching several research consortia. It already launched the first one about sustainable future a few months ago, in collaboration between academic, industrial, and government members. So you have members of this consortium that align and set the priorities. They accelerate research. They pool the resources and bridge between research, basic research, applied research into development, and push the TRLs, the technology readiness levels, closer to market, so we can make greater value of the research that we do. In particular, the second consortium is now announced. It is the KFUPM Consortium for Hydrogen Future. In fact, in late Ramadan, the university board approved this consortium and called it the Hydrogen Future, the Consortium for Hydrogen Future. And the consortium has academic, industrial, and government partners. They're aligned to accelerate the energy transition to a carbon neutral hydrogen economy. Everybody talks about carbon neutral. KFUPM and Saudi Arabia and the region, the whole world is talking about carbon neutral. And this consortium is going to be a vehicle in a direct way by promoting hydrogen, and also in indirect way by developing mitigation schemes for CO2. So this consortium has a vision and it has a mission. The vision is to attract stakeholders. They will partner on world-class research and development in hydrogen and carbon capture in order to facilitate the transition into a hydrogen future and meet the ambitious targets for sustainable and profitable energy, because this has to be profitable at the end of the day if it's going to work. Now, our mission at the consortium is through collaborative, carefully coordinated research and development, mainly conducted at KFUPM, but also in collaboration and with complementary efforts by other members of the consortium, or subcontracted to other entities in cases. The consortium will seek to integrate efforts and resources to create innovation-based solutions, technologies that address a wide range of critical challenges in the production, transportation, and use. That's the utilization of hydrogen, along with key associated carbon management topics. So this is mostly about hydrogen, but of course, the reason hydrogen is kicking in is because there has been for so many tens and maybe hundreds of over 100 years, carbon management issues when it comes to producing, when it comes to burning hydrocarbons for fuels. So these are the vision and mission of the KFUPM Consortium for Hydrogen Future. The scope is somewhat technology based. Definitely it's technology based, but it doesn't only look to physics, chemistry, chemical engineering, mechanics, great as it is, but it also takes care of the economics of matters and of course the environment. So this is where we're going to put our hearts, heads, and hands together and bring up solutions that really benefit humanity. And we're going to do that by 4 sectors putting hands in hand: the government entities, the academic entities led by KFUPM, but of course with other great schools, both domestically and internationally, working with us in that, and 2 types of the private sectors: the technology developers related to hydrogen and the end users that need the hydrogen. And there are a number of examples from each of these entities. So I think I've passed half time by now. And the question is, how can you participate? So one way is to propose your ideas within proposed areas. So a lot of work has already gone into developing the consortium, but nothing in the consortium is set in stone. I will say that during the past months, there has been a good level of agreement that these are good focus areas. If you just email me, I'll share with you my email address at the end of this presentation. I'd be more than happy to email you these focus areas, but it has to do mostly with production. It also has to do with storage and some utilization, but mostly in production and otherwise. Production is different types, different start materials, different methods, Energy storage, ultimately, you really want to do large scale. I know that having a good tank in the back of your car, in the trunk of your car, so that you can go a large way on a fuel cell based car is important. But we're talking about hydrogen economy, where hydrogen replaces the millions, hundreds, 100 million barrels per day of oil being exported or produced nowadays. So these are the focus areas. So one way you can contribute or participate and gain from the many millions of dollars available for this consortium is to focus your research on something that is meaningful to members of the consortium. Another way is to help staff the consortium. The consortium just started. The Vice President for Research and Innovation informed me last week that I'm the interim Associate Director. So I have responsibility to staff and yes. And anything we can do to help in staffing the consortium is going to be appreciated. We're still looking for the director of the consortium. We have a number of good candidates that the Vice President has already endorsed as people we can go ahead and propose to. But again, we don't have a selected manager or director of this consortium set in stone yet. So if you have ideas of who that person might be, definitely he has to have great leadership. He has to be very well versed in the field. He would have academic plus industrial experience. These are necessary conditions, and alhamdulillah, we do have at least two, but we're looking for more candidates that fit the portfolio, and probably a selection will happen to one of them, inshallah ta'ala. Let me just say one or two more words about the consortium. The consortium has a governance system. There's going to be a steering committee. There's going to be a technical advisory committee. People from different members from the government and from the private sector and other universities are going to have different roles on these committees and boards. And there's a clear way of how we're going to make final decisions. For now, we are taking the leadership within ourselves here at KFUPM, but very soon there's going to be inshallah ta'ala, there's going to be the steering committee that will need to make the final decisions for the long haul. In terms of funding research, there's going to be some entities that are members. The founders are going to have to pay fees for the membership. A good part of it is going to go to generic research, and then a better part of it is going to go into direct research, where these members really want us to work on specific challenges in particular, which they designate. So this consortium will delineate how we do research when it comes to hydrogen technology related research at KFUPM and other research institutions. I'll just close by putting up some contact information. I'll probably unshare in a few moments and maybe chat my contacts if you want to contact me after this session today or some other day. And I want to close with a few acknowledgements. To be honest, I was not really the mover and shaker in creating this hydrogen consortium. I've been always close to the people who were. I definitely want to acknowledge Dr. Abdullah Sultan and Dr. Ammar al-Nahawi, and of course the Research Oversight Committee, and in addition to, of course, our leader, President Saggaf, for all the time and effort and dedication they've put into getting the consortium as far as they have already, as well as numerous colleagues from different institutions, both in the industry and in our capital, Riyadh, who have shown initial endorsements so that we can make sure that when this consortium launches, as it has now, inshallah ta'ala, that everything is ready to move in a very positive and constructive way. And to this extent, I invite you to join me on Wednesday, that's in 2 days from now, at the Research Institute, Building 15 here at KFUPM at the 4th floor at 11:45. We're going to have a small huddle to agree on how we're going to push the proposals and our funding forward for the first round of call for proposal. So please join us at 11:45 this Wednesday on the 4th floor, Building 15. Thank you very much for the time and attention, and I'll be more than happy to address your questions. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I'm not sure if people have the microphone, but if they do, I'm not a moderator unless you want me. Somebody wants me to moderate as well. If you do have any questions, I'll chat here my contacts in case anybody wants to email me or call me on my office number. And if you want any information, I'd be more than happy to share with you. Does anybody have any questions? Or
Dr. Adil has a question.
Please, Dr. Adil, it's nice to see you.
Assalamu alaikum. Kul aam wa antum bikhair. Right. Thank you very much for this informative presentation. It was enlightening for me, at least. We always hear that the university has this new direction of commercialization. So it's like research plus you need to do something to commercialize it, and just so that we can see benefit our research benefiting the Saudi community and society. Just wanted to ask if there are any help or resources available in the center for researchers for this commercialization part, after they're done with their research and after they've done the publication and everything. Are there any services like that through the center?
Well, we're talking about, thank you very much for your question, Dr. Adil. This is a wonderful question. So this is not a center here. This is now the Hydrogen Future Consortium. By definition, the consortium is going to be not only KFUPM, there's going to be the likes. I'm just making examples, not necessarily accurate ones. The likes of UOP Honeywell and Air Products and Baker Hughes and the technology developers. So these technology developers at large, when it comes to hydrogen, for example, Air Products or Air Liquide or Linde are examples. They will probably love to, since they're part of the consortium, if they are, to move it out from our labs at a TRL3, probably going over to other higher TRLs. I can tell you now that Air Products and another company right here in DTV is expanding their lot to do higher TRL level research. So this is not deployment. This is still the kind of like what we're doing in the PCRC when it comes to petrochemicals. They're doing it for hydrogen here on well, right across the street at DTV campus. So it isn't that we're going to be providing it at KFUPM necessarily alone, but it's going to be the ecosystem that this consortium develops. And just to be clear, the people who worked on this consortium in developing the structure of the consortium have really done a lot of homework going east and west and learning from experiences of how other people develop these consortia and have it synergistic such that everybody has a stake in making everything work. That's the idea behind the consortium, Dr. Adil.
Yeah, I do apologize for using the wrong vocabulary. It was not the center, but I meant the consortium. However, in a consortium, usually responsibilities are diluted, and then everybody throws responsibility on the others. So, is my understanding correct if I see these other partners taking the role of a national lab in the commercialization process? Is that correct?
Some of them are technology developers and some of them are end users. Let's take hydrogen as an example. Air Liquide or Air Products would probably look at what we're developing here within the scope, the focus areas, and see lab such and such doing exceptionally good work and wanting to take this to the next level. Because that is their role. They're there in the consortium, not to do basic research like you and I would do, but to do the farther into the applied research, Dr.
So what do you think the turnaround is going to be for a specific technology to see the light of commercialization? 5 years, 4 years, more than that?
So technology could be a small part of a bigger technology. That would probably take less than 5 years, yes. But if you're talking about a full technology where all solutions are developed, it'll take many, many years. And I think my understanding this consortium is going to be 5 years long. And then there's going to be an assessment and either it dissolves or it's renewed, inshallah ta'ala. That's the intention of the creators of the consortium.
So did I get the correct hint that let's concentrate on smaller technologies that are part of bigger ones so that we can have a more success stories within these 5 years? Did I read that, or did I hear that correctly? I mean,
I think, my own position is probably yes, but I'd prefer to listen to the to be announced with not even selected yet director. He would probably be in a better position to decide that. I will be huddling with my colleagues who are interested on Wednesday at 11:45. And if there are any preferences, I'll definitely report it to upstairs and come to something that is amicable to all. But that would be my advice. I think it would be crazy to try to hit the most difficult problems first and then find out 3 years later that we haven't really inched too far. Yep.
Yes, from research perspective, I might be representing some of my colleagues, very few of my colleagues, who are really disoriented about how research needs to be done in this new transformation of KFUPM. So that's why any additional information regarding this, what needs to be focused on, which projects are more desirable than others, which ideas and research is more desirable than others. Any information that clears these points is very useful for some of my colleagues and some of my researchers.
Sure.
Anyways, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Adil. Really appreciate it. I see a gentleman here asking about providing data and things like that. Please email me. I've put my chat. I put my email on chat and be more than happy to correspond with you after the meeting today or otherwise. And I see also our dear colleague, Dr. Akimaya, who's also had a role with us in the past. He says he's pretty sure that, yes. Is there any link or website where we can browse what has been done and the results? I'm from economics. Yes. So, well, we used to have a website last year, and then with the transformation, the websites went down. And my understanding is that D-Rock is going to be bringing up the websites very soon. But for the meantime, please, Dr. Akimaya or otherwise, email me and I will coordinate with other stakeholders like CRAC and Smart Mobility and others. And I can, as interim consortium director, I'd be more than happy to provide you the information that is available. Okay. Oh, Dr. Sahel answered as well. Very good. Any other questions?
Dr. Ashraf had a question. Dr. Ashraf, can you ask your question?
Go ahead, Dr. Agenda.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much. As usual, mashallah, you very enlightening and very detailed and very informative talk. And I really appreciate the initiative done by our leadership, our president and Dr. Abdullah Sultan and you, that this is a very hot subject, hydrogen. And we have to really work very hard to achieve, as Dr. Adil said, to the stage of commercialization, because end of the day is the product not that will limit to our lab, but we take it out of the lab to the community, so community get the benefit. My just question is that when you are launching some proposals, especially for these initiative at the KFUPM level, so that we can start doing research, which is more to this TRL stage, it can go through. So, and also my question is, as like Dr. Adil mentioned, how much we are talking about the budget that the consortium will commit for this. So is there any idea you have, or it's just too early to talk about that?
Good. So you had 2 points that you made, Doctor. One is we're going to start the call for proposals. So I already have the green light from our vice president. It'll be this Wednesday at 11:45. But I'll also send an email afterward. So I'm not going to close it at 11:45, but we're going to huddle and agree. I already, the president already assigned a few million rials for the consortium just from KFUPM alone. For the target, it's going to be around $20 million per year. But not all of it is going to be in cash. Some of it is going to be in kind, inshallah ta'ala. But my understanding from our leadership that RDI is aware of this. Of course, the Ministry of Energy is aware of this. Other institutions and programs, national programs are aware of this. Saudi Aramco is aware of this. Some of our DTV tenants or partners, are also aware of it. So I would say $20 million a year is a reasonable number. I'm not saying this is my wish or dream. We wish for more, but we also have to be realistic. maybe if we do or have a good start, we can even get more and better funding, inshallah ta'ala, right?
Yeah.
That's the first question. Those are both. When are we going to start? Day after tomorrow, before noon, and then the money. I already have a few million reals available for the consortium, immediately available for the consortium, as soon as Wednesday if we wanted to, and then as the membership kicks in, we're going to have more of the. And by the way, I'd like to make a comment here. I'm not part of the research oversight committee. I'm not the president of the university, but my understanding is there is a discussion about, do we run the consortium the way we run internally funded projects, or are there going to be incentives of sorts? And I think there's a push for the second solution. I think this is going to be very good for the current stage that we are in. So that's good news if it does happen, and we'll see how the top administration takes it.
So little technical question, that which kind of hydrogen we are targeting in the beginning? I mean, green, gray, or blue, or whatever.
Blue, green, and turquoise, inshallah. I'm serious. I'm serious, especially because I know you're a physicist. I think if you or Dr. Al-Jalal or other great scientists we have in the physics department, or other departments for that matter, can efficiently produce turquoise, I don't even have to worry about CO2 emissions in that case, unlike SMR and other ways. And by the way, that 13 or so focus areas that I showed you, it was orchestrated not within KFUPM. It was in collaboration with entities outside KFUPM, including, of course, our greatest partner, Saudi Aramco, downstream and upstream for that matter. So they do endorse the blue, green, and turquoise. Yep.
Thank you very much for the question, mashallah, detailed answers. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Dr. Zaid Qasim says, are you aware of any similar consortia for hydrogen, since it is attracting worldwide? I'm not aware of the hydrogen consortia. I'm aware of something that is the flip side of the hydrogen consortia. So I believe it's in Rice. There's the carbon hub where they focus on carbon, and hydrogen is on the side. We're focusing on hydrogen, and carbon CO2 is on the side. I believe it's called the Carbon Hub, but it's definitely in Rice University. And if you like, I can just send me an email and I can send you their website, inshallah. Yes, so one of our colleagues actually did visit them when he attended a conference and met with their leadership, and we learned a few tips from Rice University. Yeah. Okay, I think I was given time until 2. It's already 2:03. I'm not trying to shy away. I really look forward for everybody engaging with it, as many people who are willing to engage in a very constructive way. The statement made by Dr. Adil is relevant. I think we shouldn't, at campus, we shouldn't overemphasize something to the extent that it becomes intimidating to get started. I'd be more than happy, Dr. Adil, if you invite me to one of your settings in your colleges to do my homework. Just give me a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, not too many, and I can come back with real examples of how colleagues might be involved. I already did that with the mathematics department before the restructure of the academia with with Abu Umar and then Dr. Munthar now. That's with mathematics in particular, but not with the other places. I would think that smart mobility, since it has to do with control and processing of the data and things of that sort, would probably be very relevant. But if you're interested, please give me a tentative date so I know that you're welcoming, and I would do my homework, and either myself or one of my colleagues would come and visit you, inshallah. Thank you very much.
Yes,
okay.
Dr. Zain, can I chip in real quick on the earlier question about about other hydrogen consortia in the world?
Please do. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think just additional to the carbon hub that you talked about, there are some consortia on hydrogen, but one of the things we notice is a lot of these regional consortia on hydrogen tend to anchor it around what matters most for them. So, for example, one of the consortium on hydrogen in the US, mostly funded by the national laboratories, and of course with some industrial partners, tends to focus more on the green and in the area of water splitting mostly, and a lot of research goes there. For a place like us here in this region, we tend to want to focus on things like the blue hydrogen, for example, how to leverage our hydrocarbon resource here and still green our footprint and that sort of thing. So that's what we noticed about the different similar arrangements across the globe. I hope
Thank
that
you.
is helpful. Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so since I think I started the session, I'm supposed to close it maybe. Thank you very much for being part of this, and do keep in touch. I did leave my contacts in the chat, and I look forward to your engagement. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
جزاكم الله خير دكتور.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
Thank you, everyone. I will close this session.